Have you ever felt like your prayers are just hitting the ceiling, like you're saying all the right words, but something is missing? Today, let's dive into a prayer that moved heaven and earth. A prayer from the prophet Daniel, and uncover the secret to truly powerful, honest prayer. The story starts in Daniel chapter 9. Daniel is reading the prophecies of Jeremiah and realizes the 70 years of exile for his people are almost over. But instead of just waiting, he does something profound. He turns to God in prayer, but not just any prayer. This is a raw, honest, and deeply personal conversation. In verse 4, Daniel begins, Lord, the great and awesome God, who keeps his covenant of love with those who love him and keep his commandments. Right away, he establishes who God is. This isn't just a casual chat. It's an act of reverence. He's acknowledging God's greatness and faithfulness. This is our first key. Start with worship. Remind yourself of who you're talking to. It centers your heart and puts everything else into perspective. Then, Daniel does something that most of us try to avoid. He takes responsibility. In verse 5, he says, We have sinned and done wrong. We have been wicked and have rebelled. We have turned away from your commands and laws. Notice the word we. Daniel was a righteous man, but he includes himself in the nation's sin. He doesn't point fingers or make excuses. He owns it. This is the second key. Radical responsibility. Honest prayer isn't about blaming others. It's about looking in the mirror and admitting where we've fallen short. This leads to a crucial point about God's character. Daniel says in verse 7, Lord, you are righteous, but this day we are covered with shame. And in verse 9, the Lord our God is merciful and forgiving. Even though we have rebelled against him, he contrasts human failure with God's perfect justice and incredible mercy. He understands that even when we face consequences, it's not because God is mean, it's because our actions have natural outcomes. But even in our rebellion, God's default setting is mercy. That's our third key. Understand God's heart. He is both just and merciful. Think about it. Why did the people of Israel end up in exile? Verse 10 tells us plainly, we have not obeyed the Lord our God or kept the laws he gave us. They stopped listening. They ignored the prophets God sent to guide them. This is a powerful lesson for us. Prayer isn't a monologue. It's a dialogue. Are we just talking at God, or are we also taking the time to listen, to read his word, to be still, to hear his guidance? The fourth key is to listen. True communication is a two-way street. So what does this all mean for us today? Daniel's prayer isn't just an ancient text. It's a blueprint for renewal. It calls us to action. It starts with a reverent heart, acknowledging who God is. It moves to honest confession, taking responsibility for our part. It rests in the truth of God's merciful character, knowing that forgiveness is always available. And it challenges us to listen, to tune our ears to his voice above all the noise. This kind of prayer changes things. It changed the destiny of a nation, and it can change the course of your life. It's not about perfect words. It's about a humble heart. It's about getting real with God, knowing he can handle your honesty. He's not looking for performance. He's looking for connection. So my challenge for you today is this. Try praying like Daniel. Set aside some time. Start by praising God for who he is. Then, honestly, confess where you've missed the mark without making excuses. Remind yourself of his incredible mercy and forgiveness. And then, just be quiet and listen. You might be surprised by what you hear. This is the path to a deeper, more powerful relationship with God. Thanks so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that helps us connect with God in a real way. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next one.